Welcome to Gen X Rated Tuesday edition. How we doing, Billy?
It's another day ending in Y.
It is, but it's only Tuesday. We're not even to hump day yet.
No, well, I was thinking more like WHY. Why? Why the fuck is this guy still in office? And why have people not fucking taken to the streets against this bullshit? It just piles up day after day after day. It's too much.
It is too much, and a lot of it is just stuff we can't even relate to. Uh, you start with taking away citizenship, and then you start taking away the access to gaining citizenship, and then you talk about um, putting people on Medicaid into the fields. Like, I mean, this is like, it's almost like they just stun you every day with more stuff to just, I don't even want to say distract, but maybe just to paralyze you.
Yeah, it's insane. And yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security put out a picture of like a painting of a young pioneer couple, and it said, "Remember your homeland roots" or something like that. And it's just like,
Yes.
what the fuck? The person that reposted it, their caption was, "Next they'll be sliding in pro-slavery propaganda." I mean, these people are fucking insane. This shit is so un-American. It's so I don't even know what to say. I mean, education, the one thing that you'd think we could all agree on, an educated population, educated citizens that can think critically. That we're going to gut that because Linda McMahon and Trump said, you know what, we don't need this Department of Education. And Trump's Supreme Court just rubber stamped it. Sure, Trump wins again. No, we're not going to issue any kind of explanation or a summary of our decision. We're just going to say Trump wins. So have at it. So essentially, Trump can dismantle any agency. And if you haven't been paying attention, those things are determined by Congress. Congress constitutionally has the right to earmark that money. And the president has to follow those directions. And we've got it reversed now. Congress won't stand up. The Supreme Court, the highest court in the land. And I use that in air quotes because it's not really a court. It's a kangaroo court. It's not a Supreme Court. This is outrageous. And anybody who believes in the rule of law, who gives a shit about this country, should be fucking outraged. And if you're not, you're either a dope, a cult member, or you're just a fucking hater.
Well, and to your point, they talked about the Supreme Court when Biden wanted to do student loan forgiveness, that he had overstepped his bound.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Now, when they go by the book when it came to a Democratic president.
That's right.
But, Herr Trump, whatever he wants.
Which is pretty crazy because Linda McMahon, first of all, isn't qualified for that job.
No.
Secondly, it discounts so much of what the education system brings to this country. We feel like, oh, we can just homeschool, or you can send them to your private school that we're going to give you vouchers for.
Yeah, that we're going to pay for, the taxpayer.
That's right.
You can send your kid to some crazy fucking Christian academy. Hooray.
Yeah. Well, you will learn about the stolen election of 2020 and some other interesting things in the Linda McMahon education program.
Yeah, the indoctrination program, they should call it. I mean, this is just right out of the Soviet Union and North Korea.
And continuing on that part, you have the judge reversing the Biden rule that wiped out medical debt from credit card reports for 15 million people. But now that's back.
And yeah, how about that? They're just fucking people over left and right because they can. I don't even know why.
And what's your credit score going to do when you can't afford a house anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, we've taken that away from most people. Gen Z and millennials can't afford to buy a home. They basically said you need to make six figures in order to be able to afford the median priced home, which is $422,000. That's
crazy.
It's crazy that that's your average home. That was the National Association of Realtors statistics, not mine. First-time buyers, as we talked about in the last show, historically low. And the point was that if you don't have a house in the next 5 years, or are going to inherit one soon, you likely won't ever have one.
Yeah.
And we grew up in an apartment through some of our youth, and we talked about this. Rental numbers are off the charts, and that's where it's at. We also went through this in 2008 with the housing market. And what did we have? We had a bunch of hedge funds, et cetera, buy up a bunch of single home dwellings. and whether they're Airbnb-ing it or they're just using it as their second, third homes, whatever, they got a good price and you didn't, and it's not on, and it's not in inventory. You won't be buying that house. So the other stat we talked about was it was people in their 60s that are selling their home that are buying these homes in their 60s, right? Like, it's not helping anybody outside of your generation.
Yeah, this shit is just, it's really fucked up.
Yeah, it's across the board. We didn't really talk about tariffs, but I'm going to stick with cruelty first because you seem to be on a roll with that. All the USAID that we talked about, they're going to incinerate all that food instead of sending it to people that abroad that need it.
Yeah, why would you do that? That's just being a dick.
Well, and we've certainly been there. I mean, this is what we do. Again, the vacuum's being filled by China. They're going to reach out. All this, goodwill won't be our thing anymore. As it says there, the soft power will be gone. The interesting part is it's 500 metric tons of food that we were supposed to send out. It's enough to feed 1.5 million children for a week. Not that that matters. But the interesting part to me is this is about $800,000 worth of food. And in order to incinerate it, it's going to cost $130,000. We're literally paying to not have anybody get this stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. This makes no sense at all. This is just
nothing
cruelty
like-
for the point of being cruel, being a dick because you can. And
Yeah.
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be an American right now because, at one point we were actually, for the most part, we pulled some shady shit, but we were a symbol of hope. We were the good guys. People wanted to come to this country. We used
welcomed.
organizations like USAID to, try and improve people's lives, spreading, it was American soft power, but at the same time, people benefited. And
Sure. And this isn't filet mignon that we're sending.
no,
These are bags of wheat. We send all kinds of stuff that allow people to actually eat. We just don't care anymore, is what it seems like anyway.
we don't. We stopped caring. I mean, this regime is so cruel, so corrupt, so racist, so misogynistic. I mean, I could go on and on and on, and it's all run at the whims of a fucking madman. This guy whose brain is turning to mush before our very eyes.
He's a mess. We're going to jump to him in a second, but I did want to say that U.S. farms so far this year have filed for bankruptcy. It's the most in the first 3 months of 2025. We have more family farms going into bankruptcy than all of 2024. We had also mentioned how JD is part of a conglomerate that's buying up these farmland.
Say, I bet JD and his cohorts have been very busy buying these up for pennies on the dollar.
And hopefully Congress is investing in that too before it gets too late.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Yeah, they know a good deal when they see one, and they get the inside dope.
And you mentioned inflation was up 2.7%. From higher tariffs, we're going to have even higher tariffs starting August 1st. So look out for that. Goldman Sachs came out and said consumers will end up paying 70% directly of these tariff costs. Seems like a lot. Because of our concerns for inflation, the 30-year yield is up to 5% because markets just don't believe that we're going to be able to avoid inflation, even though the one guy swears that'll never happen.
Yeah, no, that one guy's like Kevin Bacon being trampled in Animal House. All is well. I mean, fuck. People can see it at the very, for themselves. You go to the grocery store and you see that your grocery bill is higher. I mean, you're paying more. You see, your wallet will tell you. If you don't want to believe your eyes, your wallet will let you know.
Oh, there's no doubt. I see it twice a week minimum, and I'm not even buying anything really terrifically expensive. Exclude your meats and keep your alcohol out, and you're still paying a lot. Yesterday, he just added tariffs of 17% on most tomatoes that are imported from Mexico. So that's another 17% on tomatoes. And let's keep in mind, it hasn't even been a week since those gentlemen and men and women from Mexico came up to rescue people drowning in Texas. We do have 3,000 Marines in LA that were standing pat in case there was some trouble. But we didn't send any National Guard to Texas.
We're not doing that. We're out of that business. You're on your own. Pull
Those
yourself up by your
Hispanics
bootstraps.
those Mexicans were arrested as well, by the way, because they came across the border illegally. They went home. They weren't processed. They were allowed to leave. But oh my God, they came and saved human life, and you still treated them like garbage. One final note on the tariffs. So far, just in June alone, linens are up 6%, oranges are up 5%, olives 4%, cookware 4%, coffee's up 2%, and we really didn't think we'd see a lot of this till closer to fall, especially things like linens, anything that you have fall wear and wardrobe. It's going to be kind of shocking. So it's good that we're getting it in July. So by the time we get through August into fall, it'll be less of a surprise.
Well, maybe Trump will have chickened out by then. Who knows?
That's taco. Could very well happen. You're right about that.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. This is just, it's insane. And I found out today, I heard from a good friend of mine that I've known for a number of years. And he and his family are in the process of packing up to move to Canada in the next couple of weeks. They're moving to Toronto.
Great city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I'm happy for them. I'm kind of jealous. And it's also, I don't know, it's a bit jarring. I mean, you knew that people were going to be leaving, but when it's people that you know that are packing up and leaving, not in the indefinite future, they're leaving in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They're packing now.
I guess the positive is that they're making this choice as opposed to just being shipped to some third world country.
Yeah. And I'm guessing more and more people that will make that choice, because it shows no signs of slowing down. I mean, Trump owns the Supreme Court. They'll do whatever. And now they don't even feel like they need to give us a ruling or explain the ruling. They'll just rubber stamp it and do whatever. So essentially, Trump can shut down any agency that he wants.
And they end up talking smack on the 3 liberal justices that are saying, hey, this is kind of off the rails and crazy. You're allowing this guy to do whatever. And they're like, libs.
Yeah, we're really owning the libs. But you know what? Hey, the MAGAs, right now, they're still upset with Trump about the Epstein files. But here's something else. Unless you're a billionaire, if you're a senior, if you're on a fixed income, if you're on any kind of, state assistance, you're going to feel it too. That leopard's going to bite your fucking face too. And, that red hat is not going to protect you.
For sure.
So,
I think we're seeing that already.
And I see people apologizing on Instagram for their vote, but fuck you. You didn't do your homework. This was right out there. None of this shit was hidden.
In fact,
it was all right there. And somebody pointed out it was an open book test and you still failed. So fuck you.
Good point. And everything that Kamala said has come true.
Yeah.
All the areas she talked about, be it the Russian-Ukraine war or just your civil liberties and your rights and immigration. As we've talked about, there was an immigration deal bipartisan that was out there before Orange Guy was elected. And they chose not to do it because he asked them not to. And here we are. We still don't really have a deal. We're putting 70% tariffs on Mexican tomatoes. I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason to this. You have his attorney generals firing the highest ranking ethic lawyer in the Department of Justice. I guess he'd only been there through several administrations, Republican and Democrat, but he was really starting to bother her, I guess.
Yeah, we don't really need ethics. I mean, Jesus, talk about ethically challenged. I mean, that 25 grand bribe that she paid the Orange Guy really paid off.
They had pictures today of her as a younger woman. She had ties to Epstein and obviously Trump. A lot of that beauty academy and such were run out of Mar-a-Lago. So to have the committee last night, which is heavily weighted Republican, vote against releasing that list to get it out of committee so that it could go to a full vote. Why?
Yeah. What are you trying to hide? And it's interesting. The Democrats are all for it. They've got nothing to hide. You want to talk about, it's Hillary and Bill Clinton on there. It's all the libs. You know what? Their people don't have any problem releasing it. So I don't know what the Republicans are trying to hide. Well, I have a suspicion, but I mean, Jesus Christ, MAGA, you want to be upset about something? How about that? You can keep burning your red hats and start asking questions. Let people know how pissed off you are.
Yeah, and you may have some more time to do that when your job's swallowed up.
Well, don't worry, you'll be working on a farm somewhere.
Even Caroline's really having trouble. Trump today was trying to give answers to the press. They've pointed out on several in the last 48 hours that he really can't comprehend um, questions to be able to answer what the question actually is. I mean, the brain capacity is just not quite there. So if you want a premier or somebody that doesn't actually make the laws, but is more of a symbol, he'd be great at that. But when it comes to actually doing,
That's
uh,
pretty much what he is, though. Stephen Miller is calling the shots. This is all this motherfucker. You know, I've said it before. Trump is not the devil. Trump is the idiot that sold his soul to the devil. Stephen Miller is the fucking devil. That guy is just evil. He hates everybody. He's a self-hating Jew. He fucking hates everybody. The more
well,
cruelty, the happier he is.
it can't happen with him alone. I mean, he's got the enablers, this big, beautiful bill that every Republican pushed through, has
Hmm.
all kinds of money for ICE, for prisons. We're going to put more money into making private prisons in these states than we are to feed the poor or feed the hungry. It's like it just doesn't correlate. We're going to throw all this money. We put all this money into new judges. We've budgeted, billions of dollars. I think $3 billion in hiring new judges because Stephen Miller's getting rid of the old immigration judges. Why? Because
Yeah.
they're not really playing the tunes that he likes. So off with your heads.
Yeah. Again, immigrants built this country. Who do you think is out there doing the dirty work? Who's putting the roof on your house? Who is doing your landscaping and lawn care? Who is working in the fields for no money and no benefits, paying taxes, by the way? Um, People are insane. Immigrants built this country. And like you said, along the way, somewhere in your family tree, there are immigrants.
How could there not be?
So this is insane. You could not make this shit up. And every day it's something new.
Well, and we're flying blind as we move forward, and I don't know how many people realize that. But Trump's order today to no longer give updates on anything through NASA, we're no longer going to talk about climate change at all. So not only did they shut down the CDC immediately so that you couldn't get updates on your health, but now, I mean, look at the flooding. Let's pull up some pictures of what went down in New Jersey. I mean, that seemed like a really um, weird thing to just kind of pop up. Let me put this up there. I think I can see the Jersey Shore from there. This guy,
Yeah.
his trunk is open. Um, yeah, he's gonna have a tough time getting his beach ball out of there. Um, it's just disturbing to see. I mean, here you can see the roadway and that guy, that tree with the height of that guy's car. I mean, here's more. This is people just driving home. They are literally
Hmm.
in their cars driving home. It's real. We laugh at this all the time. Oh, it's been around forever. Oh, the seas are going to rise a quarter of an inch and you're just going to have more oceanfront property. I mean, who thinks like that? But here we are.
Idiots.
China's just had their best year financially in quite a while. I can't help but think that we're a big part of that. And we're
Hmm.
doing this, the drill baby drill, which they are not drilling. There's no need to drill. Trump
Yeah,
says
they're not interested in
that.
drilling. They don't want to drill. Their rationale is if we drill and have a surplus, prices are going to go down. So yeah, we're not doing that.
And it's just not necessary. We have plenty. We produce more crude oil under Biden than we ever have. So
Hmm.
any of those stories, but we can see from the processing of it that it's heating up our planet. I think we should all be able to agree on that. And then these are the effects. You're going to have these giant flash floods, and you're going to have these crazy storms, and it's weather we haven't seen before. It's one thing to try and deal with it. It's another thing to deny it and ignore it because that that helps none of us.
Yeah, no, it's like, well, the house is on fire, but I'm going to take the batteries out of that smoke detector and it's going to be fine.
It
It's
was just
not.
an attic fire anyway.
Yeah, don't you worry. So yeah, this is really, I mean, this is fucked up. We're blowing through those uh those checkpoints for climate change. I mean, we're just sailing right through those. This is sped up by what, a good 5 to 10 years than what we expected.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. And we just don't seem to necessarily care, because if somebody's telling me that I trust that it's not a thing, I'm going to listen to them, even if they're out of their mind. As long as my side's winning, that's who I voted for. This is what I believe.
That's right. We're winning. We're owning the libs. As your house
Time-
gets washed away, or your kid's sleepaway camp gets washed away with your kid along with it. But hey, we're winning, so that's a small price to pay. Maybe Trump will
So much
suddenly
winning. I was right.
gold-plated
Um,
Trump profiles.
And based on the lack of information that we receive and the indifference from many about any of our health, this is back and raging. The
Fake
CDC,
news.
the CDC put out numbers for COVID-19, 99.82% chance that COVID transmission is increasing nationally. There are 0 states where it's actually declining. Currently, we have 2.3 million COVID cases this week. Transmission is exceeding 38.1%, which puts us at one out of every 148 Americans is infected with COVID. It's not on our radar. Oh, that postnasal drip. Oh, I've got a head cold. Oh, I feel fatigue. Oh, I have a sore throat. It's not linked to COVID. So you're sick. If you want to keep that job, you go to it. And then hence how it spreads. It's pretty contagious.
Yeah, and this is just the China virus. Oh, it's fake news. Oh, this is Biden's fault. I mean, it's back, baby.
That was yesterday. This is Biden's war. I just got here. You said you could end it in 24 hours. Oh, Putin, sold me a bill of goods again. Wow, 6 more months. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We've elected the biggest loser in the history of the
Well,
world.
we've elected the biggest loser who brought in the worst people. I'm going to jump to this. This is measles. This is where cases of measles are. We've hit a 30-year high, almost 1,300 cases across 39 states. It's the worst since 2000. 2000, as we've talked about, was when we eradicated measles. But hold my beer. West Texas alone has 750 cases. 3 people have already died, and 150 are hospitalized because of it. Our vaccination rates, thank you, HHS Director RFK Jr., who only really cares about autism and aluminum and vaccines. He's not really paying attention to anything else. Thanks to him, our vaccination rates are below safe levels, which leaves about 280,000 children vulnerable to getting measles. Again, these sources are the CDC, NPR, New York Times, sure, woke establishments, but you got to get your facts somewhere. It's really insane.
Just trust
So
Trump,
here we are.
dear leader. He'll give us all the facts we need as his brain leaks out of his ear.
Good girl. Yes. We'll just pass on that for now, because hopefully you're not. I know you and I are inoculated against measles, COVID. If you're willing to take a test, then you'll find out. If you're not, then you won't. And most people don't give a hoot.
And why bother?
Still got to go to work.
That's right. Get out there. And it may not put you in the hospital, it may not kill you, but this is still a virus that we don't know a whole lot about, and we don't know a whole lot about the long-term effects. But some of the things that we have found out from people that suffer from long COVID, and there's a lot of them, that's a thing, are not good. It affects your respiratory system. It's just, it just does unprecedented things that we're not even fully aware of everything that it does, the damage it does, especially if you've had it multiple times.
For sure. And it's hard to avoid when you don't have any restrictions. People aren't wearing masks. People aren't staying home if they are sick. And I get it. You're expected to be at work, so you don't have a whole lot of choice unless you really are debilitated.
Well, and all the people that, worked from home, got used to doing their jobs from home, and the economy, the business, the corporations did just fine with people working from home. Now the bosses want them back in. Want to be able to keep an eye on you people.
Yeah.
So, let's bring them back in the office. Who cares if they infect everybody? I'll be working from home, by the way.
I love that. Well, it's my whole theme on this is you'll have to guess it. I'm going to put this up. This is Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Again, on healthcare, they refuse to pay thousands of claims of patients. On several occasions, you had, well, we'll start with this. Blue Cross in Louisiana okayed breast mastectomies, and breast reconstruction for women with cancer. Seems like a no-brainer, of course. We're going to do everything we can, help them through these times and to live. But what was happening was they were refusing to pay the hospitals in full. And in some instances, they weren't paying the hospitals at all. The interesting part was, after denying all these approved procedures, they would make a special side deal for the executives of this healthcare company in order to get their wives taken care of. So can you do me this solid for the executive's wife, please? And again, they were busted for doing this. So a jury found that Blue Cross was liable for fraud. They awarded the hospital $421 million. But here we are in the Trump era. What do you think that the healthcare company is going to do?
No, they'll just appeal and kick it up to one of Trump's courts. And
appeal. That's right.
Yeah, this is just.
So the theme is that they're not like us.
They're not like us. And what's going on with Luigi? How come you don't hear anything about him anymore?
Very little. And our number one fan asks about him quite often, but there's just not a ton of information on him, which to me would seem to be good news, because if they could pick him apart and make him into the devil, they would have done that by now. He allegedly, yes, murdered this person.
Allegedly.
For sure. But let's see how that holds up in court. I mean, there's a lot of people that do some terrible things and aren't held accountable for it. So,
well, and there was a New York City police officer who botched the chain of evidence too.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. The whole thing seemed a little bit weird, that you just pick them up at a McDonald's and you found the backpack and whatever else silliness.
Some chump ratted them out and never got their money, but they did get fired.
You're supposed to be working, not calling the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Yeah, we did. I mean, we'll see. Eventually, he's going to get his day in court. I look forward to kind of hearing more about it. I think, if anything, it has already brought awareness, obviously, to the healthcare scam. But to this
what
point,
horrible people these people are.
And through the courts, we'll get more information that's actually not hearsay, but actual some statistics and information that might enlighten those of us that are just eating the shit sandwich and think it's okay.
Well, and
I
paying for
have
the privilege.
healthcare. Try using it.
Yeah, good luck.
It's like the Medicaid benefits. You're like, oh, these people are in their basement playing video games. It's like Medicaid's not sending them a monthly check. They have coverage if they need it.
Yeah.
What do you think? The Medicaid check gets sent out every month and they're just sitting on this money? Like, what? Do some research. Talk to somebody if you don't know. Gosh.
Yeah. And if you don't know, now you know.
Yes. I don't know. I just feel like if it doesn't happen to you, it didn't happen. And eventually it all happens to somebody that we know in our family or friends or our community. Why not start paying attention now? I mean, people are hurting now.
Yeah, and you won't have long to wait, because it will happen to you. Unless you've got, 9 figures in your bank account, it's going to happen to you. So, yeah.
Well, pretty much that's the truth. I mean, it all comes down to your stack of money. And I think that's why these billionaires just keep applying it on. They shut Musk up pretty easily. They just gave him a $200 million government contract for his Gork AI, right? The military is going to use that, baby.
Yeah. And just the fact that it's been programmed to be so anti-Semitic and so openly Nazi-esque and hateful.
Perfect.
What could go wrong with the military getting hold of that?
White Christian nationals in the military are going to love that shit. And just because we talked about this, I'm going to put this up. It's one stat. I think we all can see where this is and what's happening in Gaza. Uh, 80% of that country has been destroyed. 100% of that population has been displaced, and half of the deaths are children. And we're still blaming Biden. We didn't like Biden's policy. We didn't like Kamala, what she had to say about it. I mean, we didn't like, but it doesn't fix anything. And Trump ran on the fact that he was going to allow Israel to bomb them back to Kingdom Come because he just didn't care. And here we are.
Yeah, well, Israel's got a plan. They're going to concentrate all the Palestinians in one big camp.
Ooh, sounds fun. What kind of
Yeah,
camp is that?
I guess when you've got people concentrated in a camp, I guess you could call it a concentration camp. I don't know. But
Terrifying.
yeah, well, when the former Israeli prime minister pointed that out, he was roundly roasted by the hardline Zionist government. But, call a spade, man.
Pictures
Is
don't lie, is all I can
Pictures don't
say.
lie. I mean, this is just disturbing. And yet, if you call out Israel for, these heinous crimes, this brutal
You're
war
anti.
of attrition where you're just murdering people and destroying their land, you're an anti-Semite, which not all Jews are Semites and not all Semites are Jews. Semites are people
True.
dwelling in the desert with, those origins. So that's not even a correct statement, but it's just absurd. It's obscene.
Well, and it's like nothing we've ever seen before. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, to see that, I saw some other photos which I didn't put up, which were people living in those bombed out buildings. I mean, where are you going to go? It's my house. Where else do I
Yeah.
have to go? But obviously, I think any human being deserves better than what we're doing for them. But here we are, and we can just displace it by saying, "Oh, you hate Israel," or "Oh, you love Israel," or it's not fixing the problem. I mean, these people have been held down for how long, and we're just going to continue to do that and be okay with it. And
Yeah.
now we've
No,
destroyed them.
it's obscene. And, I saw a video that the New York Times put out recently with Mandy Patinkin, a famous actor who many people in our generation may remember from The Princess Bride.
Mhm. That was good. I saw that.
Yeah. And, these were American Jews who are, calling out Israel and, calling it a spade a spade. It doesn't matter what country's doing it. Genocide is genocide. I mean, you're targeting people, you're destroying homes and lives of civilians, children. I mean, and you're taking over their land.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're telling people that there's going to be, an aid station here, and then you're murdering them when they show up. So, yeah.
And it's not like not that stuff's not on video because you can see the people waiting. You can start to see the people towards the head. You can see like the shots hitting the sand and dirt. It's like we're so numb to all of this that it just doesn't resonate. And as you said with the actor, there was a woman there too, and she was like, "This is all about care of everybody. It's not an
Mhm.
Israel Palestinian thing as much as it is people. Nobody
Well,
should
that's
be
what
treated
Judaism
like
is
this."
supposed to be about, healing the world, caring for everybody.
That's right.
And this is not that.
It's not going to happen under Netanyahu. That's for sure. He's a war criminal.
He is a war
Trump
criminal.
Trump really pushed back on the Israeli government to not the government because that's part of him, but the court system not to go after Netanyahu because he did this amazing bombing of Iran, and oh boy, it was a perfect. There's just the perfect everything.
Yeah.
It's just theater. It's all nonsense and theater. It kept him in power for. He's still here. Netanyahu comes to the White House and has a good handshake with Trump, and instead, they want to turn around and blast the European Union for this, that, or the other, instead of saying, "Hey, you have a war criminal who's genociding a whole population, and here you are welcoming him into the White House. You didn't undress him like you did Zelensky, who's actually
Yeah.
fighting for his people, and they
Hmm.
gave up their nukes. Let's not forget, Ukraine did because we said we protect them. They gave them up, and then we said, we only have so many Patriot missiles. Just deal with it." And then Putin laughs at the orange guy because that's his puppet, and Trump's going to give him another 60 days to do his most damage. It's just unbelievable. And his helpers, you can just see them rotting internally today when he was lying about Epstein. KK Caroline just, you can see her look down, her head goes down. Like, you just can't support this forever. Same thing with Rubio. Rubio looks like somebody whose soul completely left his body. And I hope his ancestors are haunting him at night, because
I hope
he's
so.
doing a terrible thing right now.
Yeah, and it's funny. I thought it was the Ozempic, but it's just the rot in their soul that's hollowing out their faces.
I think it might be. It's just hard. How can you be around that all the time? And I'm not talking about the stink. I'm just talking about the lies and the bullying and the gaslighting. It's
Well,
too
and then
much.
when your job is to go out there and lie for this fool.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I think they're doing it as much for um, Stephen Miller as anybody. He's the one that's putting on the show. We allow people like Holman. We put all this money into these camps of concentrated people. We're getting rid of anybody and everyone. I mean,
People
that
haven't been
Irish
charged
guy.
with anything.
I'm sorry.
People haven't been charged with anything. You're just rounding up people on the
You're just
basis
getting rid
of
of
what
them.
they look like and sending them to these god awful places. They're literally locked in cages in the heat and humidity of Florida with no sanitation facilities, substandard food. I mean, this is a disgrace. It's cruel and unusual punishment. It's unconstitutional, and there's no reason for it. It's to pump up Trump's numbers so he can feel good about himself. This is ridiculous.
Well, and you and I, we're noticing it and feeling it and want to make that change, but we're surrounded by people that aren't noticing it and are somewhat indifferent until it again comes into their hemisphere where they're a little more attuned to what's happening. I mean, I just can't, day after day, looking at people's rights, looking at people getting rounded up and shipped to anywhere. It could be any of us. That's the whole thing. You could be a citizen. Trump wants to take away Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. You could do it with any of us, and they could send you on your way. I mean, it's just simple, simple
these
math.
masked thugs cosplaying like they're real warriors strolling into
I mean, we saw
Baghdad.
Homan at that convention where he was like telling that guy, "Come on up here, tough guy. Come on, old man." Like, really? What? You're like a big bully on the pulpit. You're going to fight this guy who just asked if you were a legal immigrant?
Yeah.
It's fair. Show me some of your documentation and paperwork. Like, come on. But instead, you're like, oh, that guy, he's a big baby, and come on. The tough guy stuff is ridiculous. You're an old man. I'm sorry. I don't care how big you are, how tough you think you are.
You're an obese old man.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, you look like you break a sweat when you're eating. So yeah, I don't know. And I saw a story today about a guy from Ireland who is an IT worker who has clearance to work here in this country, right? Came to visit his girlfriend, suffered an accident, and wasn't able to travel. Doctor's orders, he had all the documentation, right? They couldn't have him flying until he recovered. And I think he only overstayed like 3 days, and he spent, weeks in the system. They came, they rounded him up. They sent him to a private system. First of all, I think his girlfriend lived in Atlanta, and it was someplace out in the sticks of Georgia. Spent a couple of weeks there. Then they threw him into the Bureau of Prisons prison in Atlanta. Spent some more time there where he said it was just a hellscape. The food was inedible. People, crying for medical attention and getting nothing. Until, you can't even get hold of your attorney. And finally, he got out, and he's not allowed back into the U.S. ever. And I don't think he really wants to come back. His girlfriend announced she's moving to Ireland because she doesn't want to be here anymore. So, yeah, it could happen to anybody.
3 days past his green card with this illness, not cleared to travel, and they just took him.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Well, I guess they found him because, I don't know, I guess he had, I think he had some mental health issues too. So him and his girlfriend, I guess he had an incident. They were in a hotel and somebody reported it, and they came, and she's like, no, it's fine. But they hauled him off anyway. So yeah,
why
welcome
not?
to America,
like
KKK America.
That's right. And I feel like none of us are in the club. That's the scary part to me, is we're not in the club, but we think it's okay because of the color of our skin. And the fact of the matter is, they don't care. You're going. You're not in the club, you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple. Or go to the fields and work for us, or die because you're sick. And we're not paying for that either.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I saw this amazing statistic on how we crush this middle class. And not even a statistic, but we always talk about it started in the 80s. We started with the tax cuts for the rich, trickle down economics under Reagan. Then we did all kinds of like leveraging buyouts, and the government didn't regulate any of these buyouts. And then all of a sudden, hedge funds were like, and private equity was huge.
Mm-hmm.
We're still not part of that. Then they went away from pensions because they were like, oh, the 401's where it's at, buddy.
Yeah.
Wrong. People fortunate enough to have a pension right now, which is very few and far between. That's where it's at. Your 401, your investment broker ran away with your cash, and you get out. I hope that Social Security is still there. So, then under Bush, we started shipping jobs overseas because we could make more money. Corporate America could make more money. Get rid of the workers, produce it cheaply overseas, sell it. It's going to be amazing. Then the super PACs came in 2011. Citizens United, hey, as much money as you want. They don't know where it's coming from. Let's do our thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here we are today. Between not being able to afford housing, not being paid enough for the jobs that you do, and not having healthcare unless it's tied to a job, what do you got? What's the American dream? Because it seems like it's gone.
Oh, it's gone all right, but they'll tell you it's doing great. Everybody's doing fine. They'll piss all over you and tell you it's raining.
One guy's doing that every day.
A lot of people seem to believe in that, and I don't know why. I don't know how dumb or how brainwashed you have to be, but apparently
But
it's
you
a
can
lot.
rationalize anything if you're on the winning team. I saw this from 713 2 days ago. Matt Gaetz put it out on whatever his truth, I guess. And this may be not legit, but it sure sounds like him. Momentary lapse in judgment from decades ago should not ruin the careers and reputations of the modern world's biggest movers and shakers. Attraction to newly pubescent girls is perfectly healthy and natural.
Jesus.
Bury the Epstein files and let these men move on with their lives. Are you kidding me?
Spoken like a true pedophile. Like a guy whose name's probably up all over that list.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, it's right in his hometown, buddy. Come on now.
Oh my God. Yeah, these people are fucking cretins. And
it's crazy. And I have to put this up because it's current with Dum Dum. The FIFA trophy is now in the Oval Office. Not only would Trump not leave the stage for the team to celebrate their victory, but he took the award with him. FIFA knows they're not getting it back. And as we talked about, somebody else did this with Bob Kraft's Super Bowl ring. Wanted to try it on and never gave it back. Who was that, Billy?
Some Russian guy.
Mm-hmm.
Comrade
Monkey
Putin.
see, monkey do.
You want me to take whole hand?
They could not get this guy off the stage. They asked him several times. So eventually, the guy holding the trophy started jumping up and down so that the crowd could push him to the back because he wouldn't leave on his own.
Well, he looked like a guy who just didn't know where he was. He looked like that gerbil stopped running and the little wheel in his head, and he just stood there looking like he didn't know whether to shit his pants or wind his watch.
Already done.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just pathetic.
It was sad. He was booed when he came out because how could he not be? He's a terrible person. Anyway, I wanted to put that up just because it plays to the fact that he's out of his head, and we're in awe of this guy who's so good in business. Only bankrupted 6 companies, 1 casino. Like, he's amazing. Meanwhile, he made his $4 billion off us since he's been in office for 6 months. I mean, you can't make that shit up. On that note of him being a moron, and I think we can both agree on that, obviously, I wanted to see about a happy ending.
Well, what do you got?
I got a whole gang of that stuff. I got a couple things, couple happy endings. I'll start with the one kid, Darcy Deerfoltz. He was an Australian surfer, 19-year-old, was missing, and he lives on Woolly Beach, has about 500 people that live on that beach. Excuse me. And he didn't come back that night. They went out and searched. They couldn't find him. Conditions weren't ideal. So his dad made the plea overnight, let's get, as many boats as we can, drones, four-wheel drive, beach walkers, and let's try and find his son. It was a 1 in a million chance, but a decade ago, a woman had washed up on this remote island. It's called Solitary Island. And I should have some photos of that. And let me start with this happy ending. Gotta put it up. So happy. So he had them go out. This is North Solitary Island.
Wow.
I mean, we've all been to cliffs and rocky terrain like this. You either get washed into those rocks and have your head knocked in, or you've been very fortunate. I would say that Darcy was pretty fortunate. They found him the next day. Here's the logistics. Again, his dad really pushed for them to check out this island because of that woman a decade ago, and it turned out that they found him. They found him within 24 hours. He went to the hospital in stable condition, and Dad was right on. Somebody commented there was an uncle that had spotted him. I don't know if the island's that small, but I will say that it was really amazing that they found him for where he was. He could have been anywhere or just drowned, right? I mean, geez, oh man, this was 7 miles off the coast of where he was.
Wow, that's amazing.
Which is pretty incredible. I mean, you can see Woolly Beach. So that was one of my happy endings. I thought that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for him. The other one was more of a interesting happy ending. It's called the golden years, but the new statistic is that adults over 50 represent over a third of all U.S. gamers, and they're becoming more visible in the mainstream. I know nothing about like Switch and stuff. I don't game online. I don't even game, but on top of that, I don't game online. And I'm going to let you chime in on this too. Just a couple more statistics. 57 million Americans over 50 are gamers. That's 28% of roughly the 205 million total US gamers.
Wow.
Pretty impressive statistic. Nearly half of Americans in their 60s and 70s play some form of PC, mobile, or console video games every week. If you're in your 80s, it's up to 36%.
Wow.
Which is amazing. I mean, there are like little games on your phone that help your memory and stuff, which is cool. But these people are also playing like Call of Duty, Legend of Zelda. I don't even know anything current, so I'm not going to pretend. But they're engaged, and it's helping a lot of the positive effects being improvement of visual memory, cognitive processing. Some are doing like fitness games, like the Wii and stuff. So it helps obviously with balance. Brain games, again, with memory and attention. And a lot of the people that they spoke to are also like going to the gym, right? We talk about this. You've got to keep your muscle mass.
Very important.
So instead of sitting all the time and gaming, which is great, they're going to the gym and still finding time to game.
That's awesome.
Some of the down stats on that were, and this is all ages, not just for the elderly, but they said a lot of the first-person shooter games like Call of Duty will reduce the gray matter in your hippocampus region of your brain, right?
Yeah.
And less activity of that gray matter in that area of your brain does run a risk of Alzheimer's or other mental issues. But again, that wasn't just for older players. That was across the board, and they are still currently doing research on that. But multiplayer games, the social benefits of that, you're online. I mean, one guy's example was that, he picked up a catchy stage name, Gramps. He's a pretty good sniper, apparently. But just to keep you engaged. I mean, we've seen a lot of these elderly care facilities, shall we say, not a lot of stimulation. And I know for a decade you've been talking about this amazing idea that I'm all about.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we've talked about that. A community for older people that has, gaming and a cannabis lounge. I mean, one-stop shop, man. You got nowhere to be all day. Pick up some gummies, get a couple of pre-rolled, hop online, play video, game with your buddies. I mean,
I'm not sure they're letting him light anything up. Okay.
Well, it could be
My
strictly
neighbor's
edibles
got an
then.
oxygen tank. Okay. But
Yeah.
yes, you could gummy. You could have a smoking area outside.
Hmm.
Obviously, most of these people have attendants with them. They could light your spleef for you. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a neat idea. I
I
think
think
it's
it's a great
cool.
idea. It's got legs, especially for, as our generation starts to age into being ready to live in these communities. I think it's an awesome idea.
Will we get back to gaming? Because you and I don't game. Where do I have time for that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you retired and living in a retirement community. I guess you got that kind of time.
Sure.
So, or even in your downtime, here's how old we are. We used to play Madden all the time.
Yeah, for sure. And game day
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Tecmo
Game
Bowl.
day was awesome. And, we had that. Before that, we had in television.
That was the best football. Okay.
It
You
was
put in a
awesome.
play. They ran the actual play. It's pretty awesome. But
You
yes,
had
compared to like now,
Blades of
ridiculous.
Steel.
Blades of Steel. Sure. The fighting was the best part.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives that you could get out of that. Maybe we'll get there one day. The guy in the 80s, 36% of 80-year-olds, why aren't they picking berries? Huh? They seem to be okay.
Yeah, they seem to have plenty of time on their hands, but I'd be curious to see what percentage of those of the older people that are gaming are into cannabis too. I'd be just
It would
interested
be
to see.
a good dive. I
Hmm.
think they're still working through that. I think some of the surprise is the fact that large percentage is playing.
Yeah,
I
that's
was kind of
awesome.
blown away.
That's very cool.
So I'm all for it. I think it's a great way to incorporate that kind of activity in your life when you're slowing down, when you're not as mobile as you would be. You can't go out necessarily and do this, that, and the other, but it does keep you in a group setting if you choose, and also sharp. Get that brain going, man.
Well, especially if you're playing one of the Wii games, man. The tennis, the boxing, the bowling,
For sure.
baseball. Those games were fun, and you moved around. You broke a sweat.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see where it takes us, but that was that was my other happy ending ish.
Very
Um,
nicely done.
well, thanks. Do you have anything to add to that?
Mm. I'm happy for my friend off to Toronto with the family, and Toronto is a very cool city.
It might be somebody you can visit. I don't know if they'll let you back in, but you could try.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll test the bonds of that friendship.
Is he still here? God. Well, I know today wasn't very uplifting, and we had talked about that, but I appreciate your time as always, and I do think the information's pertinent. So
Well, finished
hopefully a
strong. A
couple
couple of
more.
good happy ending there, though. So it's nice
That
to,
helps.
yeah.
And I'll pick you up for ice later. How about that?
All right, that sounds pretty good.
All right. Well, rest up, and I'll see you in a few hours.
All right, sounds good, buddy. Nice job.
Nice job today. Good talking to you.